Hello, this is Julie Burns with HR Education Edge, and I hope that everyone has had a wonderful weekend and is ready to get back to work on Monday. Before the week started, I wanted to go over the first week employee onboarding agenda template. This is a template that is one of the first templates I made when I started this company about, 2 or so years ago. Why? Because I feel very strong about onboarding and the structure of it. When it introduces an employee to the company, there should be actually a pre-boarding, let's say 2 weeks ahead of time. Once that employee says, yes, I want the job, that's when the pre-boarding starts and everything gets in line for the employee's first day. Communications start before the employee already starts, so the employee feels very, very comfortable before they actually step onto the campus or to the company's property once again. So with this particular employee onboarding agenda, I said employee onboarding agenda. I didn't say like a group onboarding agenda. Like, we're going to pretend that this is a very, very, small, medium sort of company where just one employee is starting, and you don't want to hold out for 2 or 3 weeks to, have another employee start just to have an orientation. You want to get that employee up to speed. Now, it could be different with, you had a whole bunch of employees, wanting them to start on the same day. But with this particular schedule, we are going to say that this is, a fairly, maybe a company of like 40, 50 people, and the employee is starting today. So it's an 8 to 5 schedule. It is Monday through Friday. I put this together just kind of based on what I've done in the past, best practices, keeping things going, keeping things not boring, meeting different people. So we're going to start off in the morning. The employee is going to show up, going to go to the, meet the receptionist. The HR director will come and take the employee to give them their onboarding agenda for the week, and also collect their new hire paperwork. And why is the HR director collecting the new hire paperwork? Didn't the employee just start today? Well, that being said, like I mentioned, the HR director should have already given the employee the paperwork, 1 or 2 weeks ahead of time to complete. So the employee should be bringing the majority, if not maybe the rest of the paperwork in. So the particular HR director can check it. After that, it's very important to meet that supervisor, that employee supervisor. That's the person that this individual was he or she was the hiring manager. And so this individual, the supervisor, was the one who made the decision to bring this employee on. So, 15 minutes, let's go over the job description, and let's just go over your work assignments for the week. I say that's what the supervisor, should do. Just kind of a little meet and greet. And then the supervisor goes on to introduce them to the coworkers in the department. It's always great to have a nice little meet and greet breakfast with the coworkers, which is probably an even smaller group, just to make the new employee feel very welcome. After that, the new employee, of course, needs to, move along with the supervisor and also the IT director to their where are they going to sit? Where's their computer? Where's their desk? Where's their cubicle? That needs to be set up way in advance. I have a pre-boarding checklist on my Etsy site. I have a pre-boarding checklist, an onboarding checklist, any kind of checklist you want. This is on there. And setting up the office, the supplies, the password, the employee should have it all there. The IT director should be able to say, hey, this is your area, and there should really be no questions. Like I said, structure. give the employee a little break, and then have the HR director pick the employee back up. Now, like I said, this isn't going to be like a whole entire orientation in a big room with a projector and all that, because like I mentioned, it's a one employee person, starting. But there needs to be like some type of, screen to go over the org chart. The employee needs to get he or she already has an idea of what the org chart is, but they need to see the org chart again, the employee directory, the HR intranet, and they also need to have a facilities tour if they have not already had a facilities tour when they interviewed. The facilities tour is very important, and a map of the facility needs to be one of the supports too. You always need to give your employee a map of the facility. And right off the bat, the HR director needs to locate the exits, the fire alarms, the fire extinguishers, because why do you think that? Yes, because in those first 2-3 days, it is mandatory I know in most industries, and that fire safety training has to be taught to a new hire. And moving forward, you'll see in most companies that there is a fire training and fire evacuation every single year via OSHA. So map at the facility, meet other individuals, other departments, and also discuss the mentor program. I encourage a mentor program, or actually just a buddy program, just have that other individual that maybe like someone who is in a different department, but maybe on the same level as the employee, like maybe they're both, just starting new hires, just right out of college, but one's been at the company a little bit longer. Have a buddy. But right here I put mentor, so introduction and lunch. After that, the HR director, like I said, safety training. Let's get started with that fire safety training. Let's learn what to do. Let's, where are all the fire escapes? What are the rules? Where do we go? Who does what? Who's in charge? The HR director will have a video or a slideshow, or there will be something that is very visual, and there will also be some handouts for the employee to have, so it really sticks with the employee, the fire safety training. Also, that first day, it's very important for the employee to get that company ID, the parking sticker, keys, and key cards, so they can get in the building and whatnot. It's also very important to have that key policy review. You want to talk about the work schedule. You've got to set expectations. Number one, the HR director needs to set expectations, and the supervisor needs to set expectations. So you want to go over those key policies: the work schedule, the dress, the payroll, the conduct, tardiness. The employee should have already received a handbook, so he or she could have already probably read through it and knows this, but it's very important for he or she to hear it again from someone. Little break right there that I put in the schedule. And like I said, let's see, up here, I put where the supervisor met with the employee up here at 8:45. That departmental work would happen, work assignments. I think that the employee needs to start doing some type of work. There needs to be a particular assignment set up for him or her in that first week. And you'll see department work all through here. Okay. So moving on to the second day, I've started it off with the HR director. Don't want to overwhelm the employee just because it's just one employee. That first week. So the next day we're going to go over benefits. And benefits, if you're not an HR person or a benefits specialist, benefits can be very confusing to employees. The eligibility date, the start date, which health plan do I want to be in, what dental plan, when does this 401k start, long-term disability, STD, waiting periods. It can be very overwhelming. So it's good to have a one-on-one with the HR director regarding this. And no doubt the HR director will more than likely be following up with the employee because they're going to have to sign up for these individual benefits. Right here we have departmental work right here. So I'm sure the supervisor has met the employee and they're the employee's doing some departmental work. Mentor check-in. Maybe they want to put some goals down after the employee said, okay, this is what I see myself doing. I saw my work. I'm doing my work assignments, a job description. Read the job description. I know what's expected of me via my supervisor, and I want to get these goals down on paper. Have lunch with the supervisor. That's very important. The supervisor needs to open their schedule and make time for the employee. It's very important. Back to the HR director. This is kind of going into what an orientation would be the company culture. History. It's very important to know the history of the company, the mission, the values. What does it stand for? What does this company stand for? What's its culture like? That is very important to a new hire. What are its core values? What do these people, what drives them every day? Is it respect? Is it integrity? What are their core values? And if your company does not have a mission or a vision or core values, set up, just let me know. You can email me and I can help you. We can hop on a Zoom video and we can discuss that. But I just think it's very key within a corporation to have that set up. Those core values are very, very important because they drive the culture and they drive the way the employees behave, because you want them to emulate those core values day in and day out. Safety training. There's also emergency response training. And if you go onto my Etsy site, you can also see a template that has that on there. Here we have departmental work, and then the employee departs. Next day, going to go over some time off procedures. These are also benefits: personal, sick, vacation, bereavement, and jury duty. And then Wednesday, a little bit longer time for departmental work, and then also lunch with the coworker. That first week, when it's just one employee starting, the onboarding schedule needs to be where the employee has lunch with someone basically every single day. You want to make sure that employee feels very welcome and gets to know other people. Okay. HR director, there's always, there's safety training, there's sexual harassment training, and there's other trainings, there's violence training, anti-retaliation training. It really depends on I know there's some federal trainings that are required, but there's also some state requirements too. And you can find that on the OSHA website. So it'd be very important to look up for your particular company, and also for the industry. If you're a construction company, I'm sure your safety is going to consist of a lot more. Or if you're in a manufacturing plant, you're going to have a lot more slip, trips, and falls and hazardous material trainings and whatnot. But with that being said, I just put sexual harassment on there and anti-retaliation. Mentor, meeting with the mentor again, just a little check-in. I would say that, meeting with a mentor shouldn't be, as much, after the first week, maybe like every 2 weeks, even if it's for 30 minutes on the telephone or whatnot, but it doesn't need to be all the time. And then we have some departmental work. Thursday rolls around. The employee is feeling very, very welcome. He or she loves the company and meets with the HR director in the morning. I was wondering why there was no violence training down here. And I was like, okay, wait a minute. I put it up here. So here, because it can be very long, but it is very necessary that safety trainings are very thorough. I am a big believer in safety. I've led many safety teams. I've been a safety chair as an HR director. So I really feel like I know my safety stuff, and I really feel like safety is very important in the workplace. So violence prevention and any kind of OSHA videos. On my Etsy site, there is a safety video if you want to take a look at it, that has all the elements that need to be that an employee needs to go over in that first week. They need to understand. Okay, another little mentor check-in. Departmental work. And it'd be wonderful if you could if you're an HR director, you can set the employee up with a lunch with the CEO. That is just incredibly, incredibly valuable. The CEO will shed a whole lot of light on the company and just really, provide some probably some information that the HR director didn't share, because the CEO has probably been around a long time. He really knows the ins and outs of all the very different facets of the departments within the organization. Mentor again, and then departmental work, finishing up the day. And on Friday, I think it's very important for the HR director to have like a weekly recap. Okay, so what did you learn? Where do you have questions about? Let's plan some future meetings. I just don't want to meet with you the first week every day and then not meet with you. I want to make sure that you are feeling comfortable with everything. So the HR director should set up some future meetings, and you've got to kind of remember this is a smaller company, so there is the bandwidth to actually do that. I would say you want to set up for mentor and HR director some benefits. Some meetings. You also want to give the employee, like I mentioned, benefit election deadlines. Usually health insurance is usually like the first of the month following 30 days. And 401k is, it's about a year or so away. But you definitely want to get them to go ahead and make that election and, get the information into the system or over to the health insurance company and get them in there. So when their benefits do start, that they are good to go. Give the employee a company calendar with key dates, and then also provide the employee with a first week survey. It's always important to get that feedback. Number one, was this employee onboarding agenda, was the week set up in a way that the employee felt welcome? Did he or she feel overwhelmed? Did he or she feel what could have been done better, or what maybe, and just give some more feedback on that survey the employee can do. The mentor, action plan with deadlines, meeting days and times, and then have a lunch with the mentor. And then the supervisor is very important. The supervisor in the first 6 weeks wants to probably have a weekly meeting with this employee to set expectations. Number one, to focus on goals, and also set the 30, 60, 90 schedule up and in place. And so they can meet and talk about that. And then usually on Fridays, and I think it's a better idea to have them on Fridays, department weekly meeting. So the employee would actually go to his or her first employee department weekly meeting, and then go on to department work, and then finally meet the HR director at the end of the week. just as a touch base and answer any questions and before the employee goes into the weekend. Now, I know that was a lot, but I wanted to go over this with you. You definitely don't have to follow it, but everything that's in here is very essential, and it hits on everything that you as an HR manager or director or you want to do with an employee. And I know I mentioned right here, I'm just going to show you this. This right here is a table. It's not an Excel sheet. This is a Word document. And you can actually just kind of highlight here. It's a table. And if you wanted to, have something from 8 to 9, you could, number one, let's go ahead here. And you want to keep the times pretty much the same because I did 15-minute increments. And you want to go down here and merge cells. So see, that all comes together. So the HR director could have met with the employee from 8 to 9, right? You could go down here and say, okay, the supervisor could have had some more time with the employee. And we're going to have the HR director meet with them later. You're going to go here and you're going to go to merge cells again. So look, it's all about merging cells, splitting cells, and whatnot. So clicking right here, we're going to split this cell. Let's just say this particular time got split up. We're going to split the cells into, we're going to go in 2 rows. And we're going to have the 1 column. So there you go, right here and right here. Just play with it a little bit. The colors, it's pretty standard. Just put your clicker in one of the boxes. Go up here. You're going to go into this shading box, and you're going to pick a color, such as that. And you can change that, and it's very easy. So this is a great first week template. I hope everyone has a chance to look at it and listen to what I've gone over, in hopes that everyone gives all their employees the time they need when they join the company to succeed and be the best that they can. So hope everyone has a great week, and thank you so much.